स्टूडियो से चलेगा ना? अच्छा, कर लिया ना? कोई पूछेंगे
सर लिंक तो आपको वहीं से मिलेगा, यूट्यूब खोलेंगे ना, वहाँ पे लाइव चल रहा होगा, उसका लिंक कॉपी करके आप सेंड कर सकते
लिंक तो ये लेंगे ना, लिंक तो चलो हमारे काम से सर
अच्छा
ये 27 तारीख तक आता रहोगे? कल नहीं हुआ?
बोल दो सीधे 4 27 आधा दिन
और आज कितना है?
आज तो शाम तक बोल रहा है, स्लो चलता है भाई, ये चलता है तेरा 30-40 सेकेंड
भागवत में चलाना है, उसमें बहुत सारे
इतना चलता है, इसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
हेलो, हाँ चल तो रहा है लेकिन स्लो चल रहा है पर
स्लो चलता है।
क्या बात है? आज ही होना है क्या सारा?
कितना चलता है 5 से 10 सेकंड से नहीं चलता, अगर नेट स्लो है तो 15-20 मिनट में स्लो हो जाएगा।
कोई बात नहीं, क्या पता थोड़ी देर बाद चल रहा है।
नेट स्लो है,
अच्छा नेट नहीं, नेट चेक करना कैसे चल रहा है? स्लो चल रहा है ना? ना ये वो कैमरामैन वगैरह आ रखे ना, नहीं वही कर रहे हैं अपने इससे लॉगिन करके उनके ही सिस्टम में, और का लॉगिन उन्हीं को दे जैसे सर ने दे दिया ना पासवर्ड वगैरह इसका NIT वाला। यूट्यूब स्टूडियो किस वाले ID से लॉगिन किया आपने?
सर ने दी थी,
अरे वही है इन्होंने
सर ने दी थी जो ID
करने दी थी नहीं चल तो रही है। हाँ
मैं
स्टार्ट नहीं
सोनी में आ गया था 2 साल हो गए। नेट स्लो है सर, पुअर कनेक्शन
आ रहा है सामने।
अगर सही रहेगा तो यहाँ एक्सीलेंट का है। निकॉन पर दीप है, दे नहीं था 1 लाख रुपये पर है
जयदेव हाँ जयदेव उनके बोलता हूँ
1,80,000 पूरी की, उसमें 3 लेंस है, उसमें 3 लेंस है।
मैंने गलती कर दी,
ये क्यों दिया? ठीक है, किराए पर बचत बढ़िया है
ना मुझे काम रिजल्ट तो अच्छा उसके एक लाइन समझ में सकते हैं, और ये सब बोल रहे हैं आजकल नहीं बड़ी बात ये तो चल रहा है।
बैठ जा।
हेलो
पब्लिक दिखा दो।
बाकी जो इंटरनल है वो कहाँ है? कुछ फिजिक्स की है ना? सही है सेटअप आ गया
ऐसे ही है। अभी ये तो रिकॉर्डिंग पूरा नहीं है। नहीं आगे तो चल रहा है। तो भाई से ऐसे करो ना।
लाइट चलेगी उधर स्विच है क्या उधर वाला डीपी लाइट चला ऑन हो रहा है या स्विच
ऑडियो में तो पड़ गई लाइट आई मैं बंद करवा दी। चलता तो वो ना कनेक्शन हो रहा है सर्विस में। वो सबसे पहले OBS को कनेक्शन देगा ताकि OBS लाइव
तो इसको फुल स्क्रीन कर दो
स्टॉप नहीं किया। तो सबसे पहले OBS को कनेक्शन दो कनेक्ट OBS वो तो चलेगा ही भाई OBS नेट भी लेता है। OBS डाउनलोड क्या कर रहा है अपलोड कर रहा है। नेट अच्छा है। ये नेट स्पीड
ठीक है
ये
आ रही है आवाज ठीक
टू कनेक्ट तो जैसे नेट स्लो होगा ना ये अपना अरे यार नेट तो बहुत स्लो है। तो 14 मिनट हो गए भाई। दे दी आईडी किसी को नहीं। ठीक
ठीक
ये यहाँ क्यों ज़्यादा हो रहा है कर देना।
देखते हैं अभी तो 516 So good morning and a warm welcome to the NIT Uttarakhand because nowadays in Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh also I think the temperature is very low and those who are coming from other parts of the India they they might be not feeling very well with the temperature, but after some days, after 1 2 days, you will enjoy the valley of Uttarakhand. This is the valley of Srinagar, and a very beautiful river is flowing Alaknanda coming from the Kedarnath and the Badrinath. Many rivers are there, and you can just go and see the beauty of the river and the flow of the water, and also you can see the purity of the water compare with Delhi and this place Uttarakhand, you can see that how the environment is very clear. So it is good for the health. If you can, this is just like yoga for you all people. थोड़ा sound कम कर देना उधर से. And you can find that this course is developed by Professor Anuj Mubai, and who is a very well-known mathematician, and he is MTech from IIT Kanpur, MSc MTech from IIT Kanpur. Then he switched for PhD program Arizona State University, USA, and then he settled there. And now he is the citizen of the United States of America, and he is a multi-dimensional person. His thinking is totally different from Indian thinking, what we are thinking, because we are working in the particular direction and thinking that after PhD we should have some job or some postdoc or like that. But his thinking is totally different, and he has switched many jobs from academic to industry, industry to academic, and many other. Then he started his own company, and looking how the mathematics is important for various domain. So that is very important when, as a mathematics people, when we have the knowledge of mathematics and how we are thinking that how this mathematics will be applicable for the society, for the nature, for the different domain of the science and engineering, healthcare, energy, finance, and you can find that now everywhere without mathematics it is very difficult to work on this latest technology where the demand is most about the AI, ML, and the neural networks, and many people are working data science. And now many IITs and NITs, they have started new program in the BTech, that is BTech in computing and mathematics, or mathematics and computing. And now and everywhere where it is not there, or some places in the private university they have started data science, BTech in data science. So what is data science? Data science is a combination of mathematics and statistics, because all data analysis earlier only statics people can do the statistical analysis, and the mathematics also. If data is there, we can interpolate the data in the form of function, and then again we extrapolate the data. So all these things, when the concepts are there, we can think how the, but in the artificial intelligence, what you can think without any algorithm, without any process, or without any proper numerical methods, you can have the prediction of the problem, you can have the solution of the problem, you can solve easily the differential equation and any algebraic equation, where you can find out the solution as you are finding from the existing approaches like analytical, semi-analytical, or numerical approach, or any computational algorithm you are doing through the computer or through the your knowledge or basic concept. So all those things when you can start, I think it will be very helpful, and I hope this program will be very, very important and useful for your later career, because this will be the mix-up of fluid dynamics, biofluid dynamics, various physiological system, and how the mathematics will play the important role in this particular domain. And then Professor Anuj will talk about dynamical system, where you can apply the set of governing equation in the form of ordinary differential equation, and you can easily solve that differential equation and find out the various solution, where it is related to the environmental, whether it is related to the diseases, or whether equations and solve the equations and see that the nomenclature of the parameters are variable, because in the mathematics we have the two different type of variables. One is dependent and another is independent. Independent variable is your input, dependent variable is output. And those output, every problem in we have to formulate in the form of only the variables. And when we define the variables for any particular application, suppose it is related to the biological application, suppose it is related to the environmental or energy or finance or any application, only you have to play with the variables. Suppose x is representing the particular parameter for physics. Suppose x is representing the particular parameter for the chemistry. Or suppose x is representing for particular parameter for this. You have to work for only one variable x, but you can define x with different way. Like in very beginning of the mathematics in school, let us suppose that x is the number of pen, x is the number of whatever the items. Let us consider x is the cost of any item. So where we start with the assumptions, let us consider, and then we can solve. We can find out the velocity of any vehicle, we can find out the velocity of any aircrafts, we can find out the velocity of any type of wave propagation, okay, or any acceleration you can find out, any rate you can find out, any fare you can find out, any rent you can find out. So whatever things are there, just with the assumption or just consideration, we can find out the many things. So this is the beauty of the mathematics, like we don't have to take many things, but with the some parameter or some variable, we can define our problem, we can formulate our problem in the form of mathematical expression or computational language, and then we can solve those by using the techniques which we have, or which we can easily handle, or which we can easily use to solve the problem, and then we can find out the solution. So the smartness in the solving the problem is when you have the problem, think about how we can easily solve that problem. So many transformation or many scaling process or many dimensional process in the we are using to simplify the problem. Transformation is nothing but why we use the transformation for any problem, because when the problem is very complicated, when the problem is very complex, when the problem is very non-linear in the nature, we have to use the transformation to simplify the problem. So whatever the transformation, whether it is integral transformation in the form of Laplace, Fourier or other transformation, or whether we are using the discretization process from the differential equation to algebraic equation, or from the continuous approach to the discrete approach, because all the integration or differential equations are the continuum process, or it is based on the continuum mechanics, because the concept of the continuum mechanics from the classical mechanics comes from this approach. And you can easily see that how we are having the two different approach in the mathematics. One is the integration. Integration is the continuum approach, and by using the integration we can find out the area, volume, surface area of any surface or any object or any, and the same approach we are using to find out the various physics or various phenomena in this. And you can find out the area by using area of the circle or ellipse or anything by using the integration, or you can just discretize that process in the form of a small element which is in the form of the triangle, and find out the area of the single triangle and take the sum of all the triangles. You can have the pi r square of area as a circle. So that approach is very well known in our Indian mathematics, Vedic mathematics, and again in the geometry. But now find out the strain or deformation of any material when they are applying some forces, and see how it is deforming, and that type of approach they are one dimensional, two dimensional, three dimensional they are using, and they are applying the finite element technique, and you are aware. And that finite element technique, what they are doing, they are any irregular shape or any complex shape or any which is not defined well in the geometry. If such type of shape or such type of geometry is there for any material, you can discretize that particular shape in the n number of the shape, and that shape should be the well-known shape. It can be circle, it can be rectangular form or triangular form, or square form, and then you can do the analysis. So these are the very basic things where you can do the mathematics and do the analysis. So when such type of basic concept is there, and how you can smartly use, because many problems which can be solved by one particular method, but it is not solved by another particular method, which is not solved by, if you do or if you use your energy by solving the particular problem which is very complicated by using the particular approach, then you will waste your time. So choosing the special or particular approach which is very useful for the particular problem, that is and you are aware about the mathematics that some approaches are very much applicable for some problems, but the same approach if you apply for same problem, you cannot find the solution. So there are so many limitations, so many problems. So these all are the very much important. So we'll start with the today program. What is the concept of the fluid dynamics, which is my area, and how will relate the fluid dynamics with the biological flow phenomena or biological phenomena or transport phenomena, and then we'll discuss how we are thinking biological problem in that direction, and then we'll talk how we formulate such problem in the mathematical equation, and then we'll discuss what type of approaches we can use to solve, and then we'll see that what type of code or what type of languages we can use to plot the graph, and see that what is, because best way of any interpretation or any analysis, if you have the visualization, then you can easily understand that what type of mechanism is there behind that. Because when you have the mathematics, suppose if there is a equation of the straight line, or if there is a equation of circle or any non-linear curve, you cannot see that what will be the nature from the mathematics. But the same expression or same mathematical function, if you can plot and see that what is the nature, at which point it is touching to the coordinates x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, what will be the solution for that particular expression, and how you can find out the tangent at the different position, whether the nature of the curve is smooth, continuous, and non-continuous if there is a break. So all this analysis, if you have the picture, okay, because from the expression it is difficult, but when you have the picture or when you have the graph, you can easily analyze. So that is the beauty of plotting the graphs of any results, because when we have the results, we can see that what is the tendency, or what is the different physics or chemistry involved in that particular results. So then you can easily interpret. And the discussion part is very important. So when we talk, if the students are very new, I just wanted to explain the basic problem and how we can start our research in the PG level or in the PhD level. So suppose you are coming from UG graduate or PG graduate, you don't have any idea about the research, how you can start the research. So that is very important, and many students are when they are joining the PG program or when they are joining the PhD program, they are very confused what type topics we have to choose, and what type of problems we have to choose, and how we can solve. And they are thinking that we can just work on one single paper and publish 2-3 papers, write the thesis, submit the thesis, and get the job. So this is just beginning when people are joining and thinking in that way. But that is not a correct approach. Uh, in the life, if you are using the shortcut, sometimes you will get accident. So shortcut is not good way to work in that. So when you are joining any responsibility or any program or any work, you have to think how we can start with very initial level. And initial level is you just see that most of the times what is happening, that what is the domain or what is the field or area of the interest of the supervisor, you have to work in that particular, because supervisor is comfortable in that particular domain, and he or she is having the various work. Suppose I am as a faculty in NIT Uttarakhand, I have not introduced myself and started the lecture, but I just introduced myself. My name is there, Dharmendra Tripathi, very small name, not like South Indian name. It is easy to remember. So Dharmendra Tripathi. Okay, I'm not going to explain the meaning of this, but I have completed my master from Banaras Hindu University in 2004, and then I have completed my PhD from IIT BHU. Then I have worked as a postdoc with Professor Suman Chakravarti. Now he is director at IIT Kharagpur in Department of Mechanical Engineering under the INA fellowship. And then I have joined various institutes and switched the institute. Started from the BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus, then IIT Ropar, then NIT Delhi, then Manipal University, and then I joined NIT Uttarakhand in 2018 as an associate professor and working in our field. So many administrative responsibility I have discharged where I didn't have the experience, but when the director has given the responsibility, I have taken all the responsibility. One more thing I can say, that when you are having any chance or if any responsibility has been given by your administration or your system, you should say yes. If you, because many people are waiting and trying to get the responsibility, and they are not they are not having the opportunity to work or to discharge that responsibility. So whenever in any system you have been given any responsibility, you should say yes. Whatever the problem or challenges will come via discharging that particular responsibility, you can learn many things. Because when the people are taking the responsibility, discharging the responsibility, mistakes will be there, and you will be in trouble sometimes, up down will be there, but you will learn a lot of the things. And most important things, you can develop your self-confidence, and after some times you can realize that whatever the problems in your personal life, you can solve that problem also by learning this type of challenges. So whenever because most of the government system, not in private system, in the private system, if the administration will give the responsibility, forcefully you cannot say no. You have to take. But in government system, many people, they are, you know, thinking that this is not my job, and why should I will be in trouble? Why should I will take this responsibility? Why not other responsibility? Yeah, simple. Suppose I am faculty in NIT Uttarakhand. My primary job is teaching. Secondary job is research, and third, whether I should take responsibility as a administrative work or not, it is not mandatory. I can or I cannot. But if I can take those responsibility, you can learn many things, and you can just I'm not giving. Since first December, I have been traveling, and yesterday evening I reached this institute, and my all research scholar, I have instructed that all these things should be ready, and most of the things are ready, and through the phone only I am instructing the things, and most of the things are in, on track. And when I came yesterday evening around 4 o'clock, I reached 3 o'clock. I just took the tea, even I didn't take lunch yesterday, and came to here and discuss with the all things, whether the accommodation, food, and your travel, everything. Because as per the data we received from your side, we have sent two buses. One is at Rishikesh, another is Haridwar. But one bus, I think few people have come from first Rishikesh bus, and another, only one person was coming from, so you are there, okay. So that is when you people are giving the wrong data, then the person who is looking for the arrangement, he or she cannot do. So data is very important. That's why the people are working in data science. So when you have, because we are the person who are responsible to develop the technology, who are responsible to work for the society, and who are responsible to provide the proper data, so that you will be uh, you know enjoying, and other people will also make a proper arrangement. So that was the yesterday some difficulty, that bus driver was calling, no one is coming, and this that. But finally, whoever were there, okay, come and reach, and it is good, because it is not easy for the new person who are coming from the other part of India to travel in the hills. Sometimes it is very difficult, and you feel vomiting and other things. We are also from the plane, but we are habitual to travel. That's why I am traveling, and people are thinking how he is traveling. So when that is the most important thing. I started my travel from 1st December, Meerut to Varanasi to Allahabad, then again Dehradun, then Rishikesh, then Raipur, then Bhopal to again Dehradun, Dehradun to Jaipur, Jaipur to IIT Jodhpur, Jodhpur to again Jaipur, and then. So when you can think like I have to work, I have to do this work, you can do. And I'm not expecting that how this works, I can manage. This is maybe due to the God blessing, or maybe the positive approach. Many people are thinking why will work, in the government system, even the single rupees, spending the single rupee is very difficult. You have to work for complete the process. Taking the approval is not easy task, and fighting with the store section, account section, administration, and arranging many things in your way. Okay, like one of the guy, this because he is arranging many things, and how we have to work in that. So this all things will only do when you can take the responsibility. So I just urge this was my introduction, and I'm working in particular fluid dynamics, but application in many domains. Sometimes in energy, sometimes the particular diseases, sometimes our biological transport phenomena. So all those things we'll discuss in more details. So we can start with the orientation, quick introduction from your side, then we'll come to the lecture. Okay, so we can start from Himanshu, who is also faculty.
Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Himanshu from BML Munjal University. I am also working on the area of fluid dynamics. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Myself is Professor Sana. I also work with him at BML Munjal University, and my area of interest is very similar: data science, fluid dynamics, and hydrodynamic stability.
Next.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sudhanshu Ranjan Mishra. I am from Jawaharlal Nehru University, PhD first year, and my area is mathematical biology. It is and these new techniques are coming, so I am here for learning. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pransu Kothari. I am from NIT Uttarakhand, and I am a PhD research scholar. And my field is gas dynamics.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mandeep. I am PhD scholar from NIT Uttarakhand under the supervision of Dr. Pranju.
सभी को नमस्कार। हम इलाहाबाद से आए हैं। हमारा नाम गोकुल कुमार मौर्य है। हम रिसर्च स्कॉलर के पहले वर्ष के
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bhagat Bhushan Bhoi. I am from NIT Silchar, Assam. I am a research scholar there, and my field is modeling, mathematical modeling.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mahamtesh. I am from MIT Bangalore. I am also working in the fluid dynamics only, and I am a second year research scholar.
Good morning, everyone. Myself Mallikarjun Shiva. I am the research scholar over MIT Bangalore. I am working on membrane pumping mechanism.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Saroj Pandya. I am a research scholar in NIT Uttarakhand.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shubham Joshi. I am a research scholar in NIT Uttarakhand under the supervision of Dr. Ravi Tripathi.
Good morning, everyone. I am Ranu Rawat, research scholar at NIT Uttarakhand, and I am working on a biofluid dynamics.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nitish Sharma. I am a research scholar. I work on mathematical modeling.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nitish Sharma, and I am pursuing my PhD from Manipal University, Jaipur. And my field of working is information in dynamics. My name is Kruti. I am from
Myself, Mohammed, Urdu University officer, and my topic is histology.
Good morning everyone. My name is Ashok Marks. I am doing PhD from Manipal University, Jaipur. My field is mathematical modeling.
Good morning everyone. I am Rakesh from SRM University, Katamalpur, and I am a research scholar in mathematical physics.
Good morning everyone. I am Kamlesh, ISM Institute. My field is fluid dynamics.
Namaste to all. I'm Padmaja from SRM University, Tamil Nadu. I'm a second year PhD student and I'm working on mathematical modeling of infectious diseases.
Good morning everyone. Myself Arpita.
Basically I'm from Madhya Pradesh, but right now I'm doing PhD in the Department of Anthropology in HMD.
Good morning everyone. Myself Anshul Bhargava. I am a research scholar under the supervision of Dr. Dharmesh Pati. I am fourth year student and my research topic is fluid mechanics.
Good morning everyone. My name is Purva Mishra. I'm from NIT Uttarakhand. I am research scholar and under the supervision of Dr. Dharmesh Pati. My research area is biofilm.
Good morning everyone. I'm Kanchan Rawat from NIT Uttarakhand. My research topic is basically on computational physics. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. My name is Shivani Chadiar. I'm a second year PhD scholar at NIT Uttarakhand. My research domain includes energy storage and renewable.
So thank you everyone for your introduction, and I hope you all are aware to each other. If not, then during the lunch time or tea break, you can discuss to each other. And also, this is the platform to make the network, because in the academic field, without network or without collaboration, you cannot grow yourself. So in the academic field, that's why various academic meetings have been organized by various institutes, various universities, various departments, because when they are organizing such academic meetings in the form of national conference, international conference, workshop, faculty development program, short-term courses, or any training programs, then the people are coming from various background, various institute, various cultures, various areas, okay, and then this is the platform where you can make the friendship, you can make the collaboration, you can make the exchange of the culture, and then it will be very helpful. Just one example I can say, when I am visiting any part of India or other abroad also, when the friends are there, we are not aware. Suppose I can give one example of Tamil Nadu. I don't know Tamil, but when I have to visit Tamil Nadu, not in Chennai, but other parts of the Tamil Nadu, where the people are not aware about English and Hindi, then it is very difficult for me to visit those places. But when you have the friend from the Tamil Nadu, and they will take you and make all the arrangement and the visits in the various beautiful temples in the Tamil Nadu, you can enjoy. So that is another enjoyment. But if you don't have any friend, then what you can do? So this is another. But when we talk about the academic meeting, okay, because we as an academician, we need collaboration from the various part of the institute, where you can visit the institute, you can take the advantage, because most of the people are from mathematics background, so we are not using the experimental work, but the person who are from the other background who are working in the experiment, you cannot find most of the instrument or device classes which we need in our work in single institute. So we have to make the collaboration to visit some labs or some institute where you can find those facilities. Suppose we don't have a high level computing facility in NIT Uttarakhand, so we should go to some other institute, and other institute will only allow when they know, because it is not very cheap instrument. Working on that particular instrument or using that particular lab or facilities, they will not allow until unless they don't know you. So when you have the good relation with other people who are working in some other labs, or suppose CSIR lab, if you have to visit, and if CSIR in the CSIR lab, if no one is known to you, then they will not allow, because they have many restrictions, many formalities, and it is very difficult to approach them. So when you can have the friendship, and now you can see this young program, some person or some people are from the south, some east, and some are from central region like Madhya Pradesh, and north is still Uttarakhand and UP, Rajasthan, and then you can make the friendship, good friendship, and many people, they are related to the very similar field. Some are working in the mathematical biology, mathematical modeling, fluid dynamics, biofluid dynamics, and suppose this particular person is very much expertise in particular handling the particular problem or particular technique, you can learn with him. Okay, suppose she is very well aware about MATLAB coding, another is from Mathematica or some R programming. How do suppose we are only solving the differential equation and finding the solution, but other is very expert in the doing stability analysis, okay, or some other is very good in sensitive analysis, or some other is very good in statistical analysis. So how you can use his or her expertise in your work, and how you can help other as they can add their expertise in your work and your expertise in their work. So that is the novelty in the work. Suppose I'm expert in particular domain or particular, I am not aware about other field, but when you teach to me, I can try to add your concept in our work, and that will be the new problem. So when you think about, and another things I can share, that don't make yourself very conservative. If you have to grow in the academic domain, if you can be very conservative, and you are thinking that whatever the code or whatever the problem I have solved, or whatever the methods I have used in our problem, if I can share those things to others, they will take those things and they will publish their paper. That is not a way. When you discuss your things, or when you discuss with your problem, क्या हो गया? थोड़ा. When you discuss your problem, or when you discuss your code, maybe some mistakes are there, and other people, when they will use or they will check your code or your method, maybe they will make more correction. And if, because everyone is thinking in the different direction, so what I am thinking, that's why we are suggesting our student to read more papers from different domain and try to use the concept in your work, and also you try to write yourself, so that we can make some edit or change or modification, then the paper will be new. If suppose every paper can be written by myself, most of the things will be very similar. Even sentence will be similar. Then what will happen? similarity will come, plagiarism will come. But when the student will write the paper, and when I as a supervisor will modify, then the write-up is suppose X student, Y student, Z student, or whatever students are there, they can write their work, they can express their work, or they can express their thinking in the writing of the paper. That will be totally different what I am thinking. So you should write, you should think, and another thing is you should read good papers in your particular domain, and try to make good practice to reading the literature, because most of the students they are not reading the literature, and they are working in the same problem. So how will come with the new things or novelty when you read the another domain papers? And another learning process when you are reading the good papers. Suppose if you are working in the fluid dynamics, you should have the paper of Journal of Fluid Dynamics, you should have the paper of Physics of Fluid, you should have the paper of International Journal of Heat and Mass Transfer, you should have the paper of International Journal of Communication in Heat Transfer. So many good journals are there. You should have some paper from the Physical Review E, Physical Review B, okay, and you should have the paper of IEEE transaction. So when you read such good standard paper, okay, then your concept will be very good, and whatever you will take from the paper, that will be at least correct. Because when you are reading the paper from the open access journal or some other journals, maybe you can get concept from there, but there is maximum chances that most of the calculation or most of the results are incorrect in those papers. And the same thing when you are taking, your paper will be incorrect. Okay, so you try to make good practice reading the book, because when we are going for the PhD Viva, most of the times what is happening that students are not much aware about the basic concept. Sometimes we are expecting that when we are giving the interview or presenting the work, you know the things, but you are not able to explain. But sometimes we are feeling that they are working on only the paper, because very basic things where you are working, you are not able to explain. So that should be not there. So you can make practice that at least 1 hour or 2 hours every day in out of your research work, you read the basic books and literature, listen the lectures from very good professor. It is available in NPTEL, SWAYAM, and many people, they have recorded their lecture very beautiful, and it is available in YouTube also, in NPTEL, and you listen. Listening the other things, watching the movie. If you can make this practice that just you watch some video lecture and see that how this video lecture is explaining the things in your particular domain, you can learn many things. And when you read the very good papers, you can find out they have used very basic concept, and they have analyzed in the depth. Okay, you cannot find out very complicated problem. You cannot find out very complicated expression. You cannot find out very complicated results or data in their work. You can see that when you read any good paper, you can see that it will be very basic, and the concept they have used in that paper will be very clear. So when you can read such paper, then you can think that how we can work. And you can try to start any work with very basic. Because when your work will be very basic and very novel, you will get citation also. People will take your paper, read your paper, and cite your paper. So when you work in that, and when you are extending the, only generalize the papers, you will not get much citation. You will not get much recognition in that particular domain or particular field, and it will be just like okay, one paper, two paper, three paper, five paper, 10 paper, 100 papers, whatever. So you try to use your concept and the model very basic, and you can see that that basic model will be published in very good journal. But the extension or generalization of that paper, you can find only the some average journal. So I was talking that when you are very new and a particular field has been given to you to work on this particular direction. When I joined my PhD, my supervisor told me that these are the some papers of biomechanics, and you have to do the coursework. So I have completed my coursework from the Medical College BHU, that is IMS, Institute of Medical College under the BHU, the course of physiology, biomechanics, and then I took the coursework of advanced fluid mechanics from the mechanical engineering department, heat transfer and other things. So when we learn many things from the other department, I tried to use those concepts. So what my supervisor told me that now this is the field, and now this is your baby, and how you can grow this baby with this particular field, this is your responsibility. I will just discuss sometimes, because in IIT system are good universities like Hyderabad, Delhi University, JNU, BHU, Allahabad. So these universities are very reputed, and when such working under the professor of such universities, they are not having much time to sit every day. So maybe in the month, once in the month, or once in the 2 months, 3 months, or even in the 6 month, they will sit with you and discuss your problem. So you have to work with your concept and learn. So when I joined the PhD, that time we were not in MSc program. That time there was no project, nothing was there. Only the courses are there, and you have to, and the annual system. So complete year you have to read and give the exam, and whatever the marks have been given by the professor, you have to just accept. Even you cannot see the answer sheet, you cannot argue to the professor. Now many students, they are coming and arguing about the increasing the marks and other things. So that was not there that time. And we are not aware about the computer, because only the computer lab, some computers are there. So when we started our PhD, we should learn the programming. So that time Fortran program and the C program, C++ program were there. Not C++ very popular, but C program was there. So I learned C program from the one of the MTech student who is doing MTech in mechanical engineering, but he is very good in the programming. So we were staying in the same hostel. So I discussed with him, and he told that I know very well, because after graduation he worked in some software company. So he was very well aware about the. Then after that he joined MTech program. Then I learned C programming from him, and written the code for all our problems in the C, and generate the data in the Excel sheet, and then plotting was done in the Excel itself. Now you people are using the MATLAB and the Mathematica, and writing all the expression directly and finding the plots. So that is very easy task, but writing the code for everything, even sine function or cosine function is there, you have to write the complete step for the sine cosine function in this. Even for the differentiation, integration, you have to use all the numerical approach in the C programming. Like Simpson or trapezoidal rule, you have to use how you can write. So for the one plot, we have to write around 300 to 400 lines, and we are not able to find out in each step what type of mistakes we have done. So for the one code, we are taking at least 2 months, 3 months, and the corrections, then plotting. And I remember easily, like one system was there, personal system in my hostel. Another system I got in my supervisor cabin. So in both systems, the programs are always running. And evening after dinner, I used to run the program, and morning I used to see that what type of graphs are there. But if graphs are not coming as per our expectation, then again checking all the steps one by one, and even taking the print and giving to other colleague or other friends. You just check at which step we have done the mistakes, and then correcting the things, and then again running the. So one program is running to hostel, another program is running to cabin, and if we are able to get another system, we are also trying to run in that. But nowadays you can see that how the fast, memories are there, and you can easily find out the results, and finding out whether and nowadays you can also check your code through the AI, ML, and everything. So when the technologies are coming, you have to learn the technology and use the technology and run with the technology. Otherwise, if I am thinking that I should teach my student, or I should use the C programming for our program, then it will take time, and maybe another person will work in the same domain, and he or she will publish that paper, then your time will be wasted. So that type of things should not be there, and you can think that how the new technology can be useful for your work, and how you can apply those technology and find out the work. So I learned the C programming, and after 1 year, my supervisor has given the tutorial for the computer lab. For BTech first year, second year CSC student, and that time I taught complete C programming to the BTech student, and all the program step by steps. Even most of the people who are not able to, even from the lab technician or other, who are not able to run the program, that time I was having the confidence that any program in the C program I can correct and run the program. So that type of learning, if you can think, and learning is not from always seniors, teachers, okay, because the academic people, who, whether you are research scholar or UG student, PG student, or PhD student, okay, you all are the students. No classification, nothing. Okay, even teacher is always student, and we are always only one prajati, or one type of living organ is there in the system, where lifetime we have to learn, and we have to read the book, and that is this academic field. Other field, after some times, you can leave the reading the book and other, because in administrative jobs, no need to read the basic courses. Maybe some other things they have to rules, regulation, and system, how to run the system they have to learn. But subject, only we are the people where we are reading, learning, teaching, everything is there. So my another urge to you people, that you don't think that we are very senior or we are very expert in this particular field. Learning is the continuous process, and when you can see that one of the another friend or another UG student who are very good in the particular skill or particular program, you should go to him and learn with him or her and see that how you can use those things in your work, and that will be very helpful. So you don't think that we are very expert, we know everything, we know better than others. Okay, we should think that how we can know much and how we can learn much. So that type of tendency you should have as a PhD scholar. Don't use shortcut. You learn everything and ask a question yourself that what is this, why this, and how this. So when you ask a question from yourself, you can find out and try to find out the solution of your questions. And when you find out the solution of your questions, you can see after some times that how much knowledge or how much concept you gain from yourself. So learning, self-learning is the best practice in comparison to the learning from others. As most of the students, if you are teaching or taking tutorial, you can see when you are teaching to the BTech students are very smart, and when you are teaching the students, they are not listening you. Okay, but when you are making the question paper, their answers are very good. Sometimes I remember when I was teaching in the BITS Pilani, Hyderabad, one of my students, he never come to my class, but he is always writing the answer what we are explaining much better than us, and he is always in top. Around 10 sections were there, and 10 teachers are parallelly going to the classroom teaching, and there was freedom that a student can join any class. So there was competition in the teaching, and the teaching was very good practice in the BITS, what I learned from that BITS Pilani. And 10 people, the same line, 10 classrooms are there, 10 sections are there, 10 teachers are coming at same time, and the students are having the freedom that any class they can join. And there was no attendance. And even students, if they are not interested, they cannot go to the class. If suppose 10 teachers, if they are not interested to go in their class, they are having the freedom. So the person who are not going in the class, in any class, throughout the semester, but scoring the good marks. So what he is doing, when he is coming to see the answer sheet, and when we are talking with him, he was telling that I am learning myself from the books. And instead of going to the class, he is learning everything from the books, and he is scoring not only the mathematics, even in the engineering courses also. So such type of brilliant students are there, and they are learning themselves. So same thing, that's why I am telling that the self-learning, even in the our time also, when the annual exam system was there, what we are going to the class, and sometimes some professors, what they are teaching, sometimes we are getting something, sometimes we are not. Because every time you are not, if you are not coming with the preparation, it is not easy to understand, even though I am explaining everything. So if we are not able to learn those things, then we have to go to our friends or to the library, to some books, and discuss the things, and during the exam time only. During the exam time, and learn everything, and go write the answer, and whatever the score is coming, that is based on your answers. So that type of learning is required especially for the PG and PhD. So when you learn the things from yourself and discuss with, that's why I am always suggesting that you always make the group of 3 or 4 students, and sit at least 1 hour or 2 hour in the any place where you are sitting, and discuss the things what you have learned in the whole days. What you learn, you discuss to others. Others, what he or she learn, he should or she should discuss the things. And you can, after some times with the discussion, with the deliberation, you can find out many things will be very clear. So no need to go to the, your supervisor or any professor or any other people. You can learn many things from yourself with the discussion. So make the group. Not only now the system is very good, you can make the group of other institutes also. At least in a week, you can have the Google Meet and discuss the things. And you can utilize your time even in the night after dinner. You can make one Google Meet and discuss through the phone, and all deliberation for 1 hour or 2 hours can be continued. Okay, and you can, after 1 year or 6 months, you can find out how much changes in your knowledge, in your yourself and confidence. That's why another things I am suggesting to all the students, that every week you can present your work in front of your friends and allow to the friends that you ask whatever you have the doubts. So when they will ask the question, you can search. Now this time it is very best way to find out the solution through the chat GPT. Chat GPT you can use to make the answers and see that what type of answers are coming. You can check those answers from the literature also, and make your notes, and that will be very helpful. So all those things are very important, and the research article, writing the research articles, again it is the art. Okay, teaching is the art, writing of the paper is also art. How much knowledge you have doesn't matter, but knowledge is important. Without knowledge you cannot teach. Without knowledge you cannot write the paper. So knowledge is important, but it doesn't mean that you are writing good paper or you are teaching very well. Many people who are not very good in the subject, but they are teaching very well. Because the art of teaching, the person who are is not very good in skill, communication skill, but they are giving the speech very well. Okay. So all those things, the art is also important, and this art will come from the practice. When you do the practice, your art will be developed. Like when you are sketching any, figure, okay. So when you do the practice, after some times you can find out how much improvement you can see in your sketching or painting or anything. So this art is also, so this will come only the practice. So when you do the practice more and more in writing the paper, okay, and this, so one of the, another example I can give, one of the professor in BHU, during that time what he is doing, when he is writing one paper, okay, and submitting to the journal, if the journal reject his paper, he thrown that paper to the dustbin. And also he doesn't see that paper. Again he started to write same paper in the different way, and then try to submit. And he is there still. I know him very well. So if that type of practice, because see, as I told that different people are having the different mindset. Okay, and where you are feeling the satisfaction, that should be important. Whether you want to publish more paper, doing more work, teaching very well, okay, making the friendship more, or doing the responsibility more, getting more satisfaction, that is important. Because the main objective of the human life is the self-satisfaction. And the self-satisfaction is the synonyms of the happiness. if you are satisfied your work, because people are always in trouble because they are not doing their work honestly, and they themselves are thinking that we are not happy because they are not satisfied. So satisfaction will come when you work for yourself, and when you work very honestly, and you can analyze yourself after doing morning to evening work. If you can analyze yourself, you can find out how much work we should do and how much work we have done, and you compare. If it is almost 90%, you will be satisfied. If it is less than 50%, then you will think, oh, today I have not worked. Or even from teaching, what I am feeling, sometimes I am not going from preparation in the class, okay. So sometimes what I am feeling that, okay, if I am not going with the preparation, I cannot teach much better. And when after teaching I am coming out, I thought that today I have not done my work well. Because sometimes due to some time constraints, I could not get the time. But sometimes when we are going, or I am going for the class with proper preparation and teaching well, after that there was another happiness that, okay, today I done or I taught well. So that type of analysis, if it will come in your life, I think you will do better, and continue doing better and better. So that is these things. These are very learning. So regarding the problem, I just again tell that any domain, suppose if it is healthcare problem, you think about what type of problems are there, or if it is related to the material science or related to the environmental, what type of problems, and think about local problems also, like in our society, especially in the Uttarakhand, or especially in the Srinagar, or where you are located, what type of problems are there. If you are really think about some good solution, then you think it will take time. It will take time, because working in the or going in the same direction, because you can just realize the experience. Again, I am giving another example. Like if I am living in the Srinagar at particular colony, and when I have to come morning or going back to evening, okay, from the office, I don't have to think about whether we have to turn left or right or this. I start my bike and coming to the office, I don't have to think about whether we have to turn left, right or this. But when we go to the new place, you have to think every turning, that whether we have to go left, right or this, and again even. So when you are habitual working on the same field, or when you are experienced working in the same direction, that will be very easier path for you. But when you have to work another particular field, it can be a challenge, it can be more complex, but when you work on that, the another type of happiness will come, and another type of satisfaction will come. So think in the another direction, that after doing the PhD work, after doing your thesis work, you try to think in another way, that what other type of problems we can solve, or what other types of problems we can solve, and we can make some at least 0.0001% contribution for the society, or maybe lesser than, because population you can see around the world, around the country, it is so percentage when you can make even 10 to the power minus 100 also, that will be your at least some contribution. So think in that way, and it will be. So when you have the problem, first thing you try to understand particular problem, because understanding is very important. When you understand the problem, think that what type of concept, what type of principle, what type of phenomena, what type of statements are involved, what type of mechanisms are involved that particular, maybe some physics or chemical reaction, or maybe some biological mechanisms, maybe some environmental or some natural phenomena are involved, and whether those phenomena or mechanisms are well defined in the literature or not. If it is well defined, you can take that particular statement, particular expression, particular rule or particular law in your study, and then you try to formulate the problem after understanding in the form of mathematical expression. So when you have some rules like in the material science or in the fluid dynamics, we are using the Newton's law of viscosity, we are using the Hooke's law to find out the relation between stress and strain, or stress and the rate of strain, okay, and see that how much deformations are there in the material or after applying the external forces or after applying the external stresses, and see that what type of changes in the material, particular material, and then we do the analysis. So when we understand that whether this mechanism is working as in a real, then that mechanism will be very applicable. So you use those laws, rules in your problem, and then define the problem in the mathematical expression or computational languages, and then you can think about when you have the mathematical formulation in the form of algebraic equation, in the form of transcendental equation, in the form of differential equation again in the form of ordinary differential equation, or in the partial differential equation form, then you can think what type of constraints are there for your problem. So constraints are nothing but it is a boundary condition in the mathematical formulation. So in the problem, suppose we have to analyze the temperature of this room. So what will be the boundary? What will be the temperature from the outside of environment who is affecting to the walls of this, and from the walls how much temperature are coming to the room, and what is the temperature of this particular room, how it is transferred to outside. If suppose the inside temperature is high as compared to the outside or outside walls, which is the boundary, you can define that the maximum temperature of the walls, that is the boundary condition, and what is the temperature inside this room, that is the your another. If it is boundary, then it is boundary, otherwise it is initial condition, that at the initial time where you start your experiment or where you start your work, what will be the temperature at the initial point or initial time, that will be the initial condition. So initial condition or boundary condition, these two are very important when you are defining the mathematical formulation of your problem, and then you can think how you can define the initial condition as well as the boundary condition for analyzing the heat transfer in this room. So if you can think about this direction, not just taking the boundary condition or mathematical expression from the literature, what type of problem you are formulating and what type of boundary conditions are applicable or what type of constraints are applicable for such problems, when you define and try to understand the meaning of those boundary conditions or initial condition in your problem, then you can think that how much your clarity will be there for defining your particular mathematical formulation. And when you can understand what type of expression or what type of terms you have used in the mathematical expression, whether you can define the meaning of that particular expression physically, chemically, biologically or not, then you can explain those things very easily. And think about just copy the equation from other paper, just copy the boundary condition from other paper, just taking the data from other paper paper and solving that by adding some another terms or by adding some another forces or another boundary condition and solving the problem, finding the solution, you will not be able to understand what you have done and what you have to analyze. So when you can start your understanding from the beginning, that's why what editor-in-chief will read only the abstract and then conclusion, because the paper format start from the title, then your affiliation, then abstract, then mathematical model for the some experimental setup, and then methodology, or then results, then discussion, then conclusion. So this is the format of any standard technical paper writing. Okay, like starting from the title, abstract, introduction. But the importance of writing the title is very important. I can give the example. When you see the title of any movie, whether you know the story of the movie or not, but if title is very interesting, it is coming in our mind that we have to watch this movie. Maybe this title is very interesting. So if you think in that way, that how you write the title of your paper, okay? People are writing title first, then abstract. No, you complete your work and think about what type of work you have done, and then you write the title. And title should reflect the complete your problem. Title should reflect the output of your problem. Then the title will be important. And from the title we can analyze as a reviewer or as a editor that whether title is having the meaning or it doesn't have the meaning. If it doesn't have the meaning, your paper is rejected from the title level. No need to go from rest part of the paper. If suppose title is okay, then editor will see the abstract. And if abstract is writing, what should be the abstract? Abstract should be at least one sentence of the background of your research problem. Second sentence should be the key objective of your problem. Maybe objective will be more, then you have 2 sentences, 3 sentences, and then what type of assumptions or limitations you have considered your problem, then you can describe in 1 sentence. Then you can think that what type of method or experimental setups you have done in your work, that will be the another sentence. And finally you can see that what is the novel result, because results are many. Results are many in your work. So what will be the new contribution in your complete work, that will be described in a single sentence in the last. So that is the structure, that should be the structure of the abstract. And if abstract should be in this way or this form, you can find out that it will be very small, very precise, and very impactful. No need to write 1 page complete or 1 long paragraph for the abstract. If your abstract is constituted from these things, your abstract is sufficient. Then the keywords. Keywords are also important. So what type of the words which are frequently used, or what type of mechanisms, methods you have used in your work, that should be in the form of keywords. And then the introduction. Introduction is also very much important. Introduction should not be simple definition, not be simple literature. It should not simple this person has done this, that, like that. It should be a very well sequence, and I can say that if you are describing the keywords of your paper, from the keywords you can write the introduction, and you take the keywords, 1 keywords, 2nd keywords, 3rd keywords, and 4th keywords, describing the keywords in the introduction very well, and what type of work have been done for the particular keywords. Suppose if we are using the heat transfer, if we are using the physiological property of any material, okay, or it is thermal properties, it is viscous property, it is elastic property, or any property we are considering in our problem. So you think about what type of work in the literature have been done, and summarizing in such a way that the complete literature will be there in one paragraph, one or 1.5 paragraphs, that what he has done, what was the limitations, and what is the key result. So three things are important when you are doing the literature review. One is what he has done, what are the limitations or assumptions they have considered, and the third is what is the key result of that particular work. So if three things will be there for the particular work, and you take good, because several papers you can find out. So again there is a challenge that which paper we have to choose, which paper we don't have to consider. So when you see, make the list, suppose it is 20 papers, and see that in which paper there is some novel work. If there is an extension, or if there is a very small contribution, you can leave it. Because literature should not be for 3, 4, 5 pages. It should be in the 2 pages, maximum 2 pages. So you can choose smartly and make the sequence. Like when you describing for one keywords, you have discussed the literature for one keywords, then you relate that another keywords with that keywords. And then when you relate that which type of work have been considered the both keywords, and then you can go and make the literature, make the sequence, make the flow. When as a unknown person, if I read your introduction, I should have the idea that at which field you have done your work. So that is another, And then last, you summarize the complete literature and think about what type of gaps are there in the literature where we are working. And if you are able to find out the gaps, then you can note down and think that how you can fulfill that gaps in your work. And if you can add those gaps or fulfill those gaps in your next work, that will be the extension of the work. That will be the extension of the existing work. But if you can think slightly different, that these are the literature, but I will not be going for adding some terms, we can think that using this literature, is it possible to make a new problem, new model? If S, which is applicable for the society, for the health care, then you can formulate. And when you formulate, that is the next step, mathematical model, or the people working on the experiment, that is your experimental setup, making the new sample, characterizing the sample, okay, and doing the analysis, making the result, and as a mathematics, formulating that problem in the mathematical expression, making the mathematical model, and describing the all constraint. Because in the operation research optimization, what we are doing, we are formulate the maximization of the problem or minimization of the problem. That is the optimize jet. And then rest, what are the, how much labors are required, how much raw materials are required, how much time will be required, and what is the maximum limit. So that is the constraints. So we are defining the mathematical model from the optimize the problem with some constraints. And all constraints are in the form of inequality, maybe less than equal to or greater than equal to. So when we have the mathematical model in such a way, we have to go for the solution. Same thing we are doing in our problem. We we have to define our problem in the mathematical formulation. Constraint will be in the form of initial condition or boundary condition, and then we have to use the numerical or analytical technique to find the solution. And again, the results are another important. Results you have to find out based on the data, and the data set is very important. Data set based on the parametric values. So when you are using the set of parametric values, again you have to use your presence of the mind and make smartness choosing the data set, because sometimes when you are taking some data set values, parameters values, your results are not coming as per your expectation, and then it will be difficult to do the analysis or do the proper interpretation. So as when you are writing the code for your results, and you just see that what type of parametrics. So one parameter you choose, the best way to find out the best set of parametric value is you can start from the one parameter and find out what will be the range for that particular parameter, where we can find out the good solution. So you can make that range for a particular parameter, then you can play with the another parameter, and then you see that what will be the range for another parameter, and then you find out the solution. Then you find out the a set of parametric values, and when you have the set of parametric values, you use those set of parametric values for your results. Because as a mathematics we have the the range of parameter from 0 to infinity, 0 to minus infinity, and you cannot do results for this range. So you try to make the particular range and make the set of parametric values very smartly by playing with the parameters in your code, because it will not take much time. Okay, so you just play with the every parameter, prepare a set of parametric values, that which range of the parametric values will be applicable for our results, and then you plot the results and try to make results very novel. Don't plot many. Okay, try to plot very few graphs and make the specific results. And then the most important thing is interpretation. Interpretation will come when you know the basic concept. If you don't know the physics, you don't know the chemistry, you don't know the biology, if you don't know the science, if I can simply say, if you don't know the science, it is very difficult to interpret the result. Or if you don't know the particular phenomena of the problem, like suppose if it is an environmental problem and you don't have any idea about the environmental science, then how you can interpret so physical interpretation of the parameter or the meaning of the parameters, what will be the range of the parameters. Sometimes we are choosing, suppose one viscosity of any liquid. We have considered the liquid as a water, and we are considering viscosity maybe 100 or 200 or 300. So that is not the correct way. You think that what parameter values you are considering in your problem, that is experimentally valid or not, whether it is correct or not. Okay, you are formulating the model for a non-Newtonian fluid or any rheological model, but your fluid is a Newtonian in nature. You are considering the solid more elastic, but your the example which you have considered, that is the less elastic. So if you can consider your parametric values or set of the values which is not experimentally or which is not really good for your problem, then the first question will come, that why you have considered these things. So all these things when you consider in your mind, then your paper or writing of the paper will be very good. Then again the last because when the editor is satisfied with the abstract, they will they will not go the rest of the part. They will see the conclusions or concluding remarks or key points of your work. Okay, and that is very much important. So whatever the discussions, whatever the discussions you have done in your analysis for your results, what type of novel findings are there in your results or in your discussion, you summarize in 4 to 5 sentences in a conclusion. That is more than enough. And when you find out the good paper, the conclusion will be 3 to 4 lines or 5 lines maximum, and abstract will also be 4 to 5 lines. You just go and read the paper, good paper. I have given some journals, like you can see the journals of Royal Society, you can see the journals of Nature, you can see the journals of AIP, IEEE transaction, you can see the journals of AIP, American Institute of Physics, and find out what type of papers people are. And again, another things, you select reading of the papers of some particular group, because there are some groups in your field who are working very well. Suppose I am working in the biofield, I have to choose the person or group who are working very well in the particular fluid dynamics or biofluid dynamics. And reading their papers is always, giving the good knowledge as well as giving the good ideas and giving the good problems. So you try to select some groups, and also in the literature you cite their paper only, because if you choose the good groups and download the papers of there, you can see that in their papers, every papers, some new things will come. And when you read the papers where the new things are coming, you can develop the new ideas. And when you have new ideas, or there is a chance, or there is a possibilities to extend or to work on that particular paper, your paper will be more applicable. So these things are basic knowledge which I gained from my experience. I have shared. Now we'll come to the, if you have any doubts or discussion or any confusion, you can discuss. We have 3 to 4 minutes. Chai tayar hai. Then we have the tea break. Okay, and then we'll come to the lecture which I am delivering everywhere. Okay, and we'll come to the basic concept of the fluid dynamics, biofluid. So all this experience I have shared. Many experience are there, but I don't have much time. Okay, and sharing the experience, because many learning processes are coming from the experience. Okay, sometimes missing the flight, sometimes traveling with different type of people, sometimes sharing the room from the different type of roommate. Sometimes you can learn many things from working with different type of supervisors, different type of teachers, different type of friends. So everything is a learning. Okay. So when you learn many things from the experience, you can have. So whatever I have learned, very briefly I have explained. Okay. If you have still any doubt, you can ask. I will be happy to elaborate or discuss more. No? पूछिए. Because this is the discussion. अभी जो प्रोफेसर अनुज आएंगे, he will talk less and discuss more. So deliberation will be there. So when deliberation will be there, then it will be more. So if you have a specific question, a specific doubt, you just ask me. What I have learned last 20 to 25 years, I will be happy to explain. in very beautiful manner. Okay, because I have worked in south, north, west. I am from east and also studied from east. IIT Kharagpur, BHU, belong from the BHU, Banaras. Okay, so many experience I have learned. So whatever the things in your mind, even in the life also, I work as a Dean Student Welfare as in NIT Uttarakhand more than 4 years, 4.5 years. One tenure I completed as 1.5 years. Second 3.5 years I have completed. Now I am looking the research consultancy. One tenure I have completed more than 3 years, and the second chance again I have been allotted. Second again I am discharging the research and heading the research consultancy department. So I have learned many things. I have also discharged as a registrar for NIT Uttarakhand for 2.5 years, which is more challenging part, but I have learned a lot. So when you take all the responsibility, many things you can, and now you can see that even you can ask with my student, I am always smiling. Whatever the problems are there, always smiling. Okay, and easily trying to solve the problems. So many students, I have worked as a counselor also for the student, counseling to the student. If they are in depression or anything, you can sit with me and discuss many things friendly. So don't worry about the life. You enjoy the life, learn many things, and there is a very good mantra that hard working. You have to be hard worker if you really try to become the happy. खुशी आपको तभी मिलेगा जब आप ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा काम करेंगे. जितना आप काम कम करेंगे उतना ही दुखी रहेंगे, और जितना आप दुखी रहेंगे दूसरे को दुखी करेंगे, और जितना ही दूसरे को दुखी करेंगे उसका जो है डबल आप फिर दुखी होंगे. ठीक है, तो ये सब चीज़ें आप ट्राई करिए. कुछ और पूछना है तो ठीक है, अदरवाइज थैंक यू. We'll end or conclude this session and we'll come again after 5 to 10 minutes for second session. Thank you.